Welcome to the Global Updates, bringing you the latest news from around the world. The headlines began as a low rumble, just like the tremors themselves. At first, it was easy to dismiss the news as just another blip in the endless cycle of updates. But this time, the story was different. The ground was speaking, and the world was starting to listen. Unusual seismic swarm detected beneath Mount Rainier. The monitors flickered with activity, each spike a silent alarm echoing from deep within the earth. Scientists monitor deep quakes at Washington Volcano. Teams of experts gathered, poring over data, searching for patterns in the chaos. Is Rainier waking up? Since early April 2025, unease has quietly grown across the Pacific Northwest. Residents glance nervously at the mountain, wondering if the calm is about to break. Mount Rainier, a beloved icon, is also one of America's most dangerous volcanoes. Its beauty draws millions, but its history is marked by eruptions and devastation. The ground beneath its snowy peak is trembling in ways scientists haven't seen before, raising a critical question. What's happening inside this sleeping giant? The mountain's silence is now punctuated by subtle, persistent movement. These aren't the usual shallow quakes that come and go with little notice. They're deeper, more persistent, and have geologists on high alert. The pattern is unusual, hinting at forces building far below the surface. The mountain is sending signals from miles below its icy summit, as if warning of changes yet to come. In early April, seismometers picked up a cluster of small earthquakes. Each tremor, though minor, added to a growing sense of urgency. At first, they seemed routine, just another day in the life of a restless volcano. But the quakes kept coming, forming a pattern that caught the attention of the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. The frequency and depth were unlike anything seen in recent years. This isn't the familiar noise from shifting glaciers or seasonal changes. It's something deeper, from the volcano's mysterious plumbing system. Magma may be on the move, pushing its way through ancient rock. The current events are a stark reminder. Rainier's tranquil beauty hides formidable power. As the world watches, the sleeping giant stirs, and its next move remains uncertain. To truly grasp the risk Mount Rainier poses, you first have to understand the mountain itself, its immense power, its beauty, and its hidden dangers. Mount Rainier is an active stratovolcano, towering above the landscape and crowned with more ice and snow than any other peak in the Cascade Range. Its glaciers are the largest single mountain glacier system in the contiguous United States, holding back millions of tons of ice. This icy cap is both breathtaking and treacherous. When volcanic heat or even a minor eruption meets the thick layers of ice, the result can be catastrophic. The melting ice can trigger sudden floods and unleash torrents of mud and debris down the slopes. Over 2.5 million people live within Mount Rainier's hazard zones, many of them settled in valleys that were carved long ago by ancient, powerful mudflows. These communities are closer to danger than they might realize. These valleys act as natural highways for lahars, fast-moving volcanic mudflows that can travel for miles, destroying everything in their path. Lahars are considered the greatest threat from Mount Rainier, capable of reaching populated areas with little warning. The mountain's history is scarred by eruptions and massive mud flows, including one colossal lahar that surged all the way to Puget Sound over 5,600 years ago, reshaping the landscape and leaving a legacy of destruction. The real danger isn't always a dramatic eruption. Sometimes, a small event, a landslide, a sudden burst of volcanic steam, or even a moderate earthquake can trigger a deadly lahar with almost no warning at all. This ever-present risk is why scientists and local communities remain on high alert. The current seismic activity is especially unsettling, serving as a stark reminder that Mount Rainier's threat is not just theoretical, it's real, and it's always looming. The current unrest began quietly in April 2025, almost unnoticed at first. There were no dramatic eruptions or visible changes on the mountain's slopes, just a subtle shift, deep beneath the surface, that only sensitive instruments could detect. Seismologists noticed a persistent earthquake swarm. Many small tremors, but at unusual depths, 5 to 7 miles below the surface. These weren't the typical shallow quakes that sometimes rattle the region, but something different, something that hinted at changes far below. This is far deeper than Rainier's typical shallow quakes, which usually occur just a mile or two down. The new activity was happening in a zone rarely disturbed, making it especially intriguing and concerning for scientists. The depth places the activity near the magma reservoir, raising red flags for scientists. When earthquakes cluster at these depths, it often means magma, gas, or superheated water is on the move, potentially changing the internal structure of the volcano. Unlike brief, shallow swarms, this one has continued for weeks, a steady drumbeat from deep within. The pattern is relentless, with tremors coming in waves day after day, refusing to fade away. The quakes are low frequency, more like a dull thud than a sharp crack, often linked to the movement of magma, gas, or water. These low, rumbling signals are different from the brittle snap of rock breaking. They're softer, but more ominous. This acoustic fingerprint is a classic sign of volcanic unrest. It's a warning that the volcano is restless and that something is shifting deep inside. For the public, it means something fundamental may be changing inside the volcano. Even if nothing is visible yet, the mountain's deep signals are a reminder that Rainier is alive and always evolving. Dr. Eliza Shaw of the USGS calls it a conversation within the volcano, possibly new pathways opening or pressure building. She explains that these deep tremors are like the volcano's way of communicating, hinting at changes that could eventually reach the surface. While the alert level remains normal, scientists are listening more closely than ever. Every new tremor, every subtle shift in the data is scrutinized for clues about what might come next. The deep, rhythmic tremors have their full attention. For now, the mountain is quiet on the outside, but inside, a new kind of tremor is rewriting the story of Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is never silent. Glaciers creak and shallow tremors are common, but this earthquake swarm stands out for its depth, duration, and low-frequency pattern. Most of Rainier's quakes are less than 2 miles deep, linked to the hydrothermal system. The current swarm is 5 to 7 miles down, in the region of the primary magma reservoir. This makes it more likely to be related to magma, not just surface fluids. The swarm's persistence, weeks, not hours, suggests a significant ongoing process. Low-frequency quakes like these have preceded eruptions at other volcanoes worldwide. While not a guarantee of eruption, they're a reliable sign of changing internal dynamics. This combination of depth, duration, and seismic signature has scientists on high alert. Scientists are now focused on what's causing this deep swarm. The main suspects: magma movement, changes in the hydrothermal system, or regional tectonic stress. Magma movement is most concerning. It could mean the chamber is recharging, a possible eruption precursor. Alternatively, hot gases from the magma could be pressurizing the hydrothermal system, causing deep tremors. Or tectonic stress could be squeezing the system, causing quakes without new magma. Scientists are searching for clues: ground deformation, gas emissions, and temperature changes. By combining seismic, GPS, and gas data, they hope to pinpoint the true cause of Rainier's restlessness. In response, the USGS has ramped up monitoring at Mount Rainier. Over 20 seismometers listen for tremors, while GPS stations track ground movement down to fractions of an inch. So far, no significant ground deformation has been detected, a reassuring sign. Scientists also monitor volcanic gases for changes in sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide, which could signal rising magma. Aircraft and ground sensors sniff the volcano's breath, while thermal imaging checks for new hotspots. Right now, the data is complex. Deep quakes show unrest, but no surface changes suggest an eruption is imminent. The multi-layered monitoring system is designed to catch the earliest warning signs. Vigilance is key. Science is watching every move the mountain makes. The greatest threat from Rainier isn't fire, it's mud. Lahar's volcanic mud flows can race down valleys at highway speeds, destroying everything in their path. Rainier's glaciers provide the perfect fuel. Even a small eruption or steam blast could trigger a devastating flow. Towns like Ording and Puyallup sit atop ancient lahar deposits, and a large flow could reach them in under an hour. The region's lahar warning system uses sensors in riverbeds to detect flows and trigger sirens, giving residents precious minutes to evacuate. History shows lahars can strike with little warning and follow predictable paths. Knowing evacuation routes and taking warnings seriously is essential for survival. The current unrest is a reminder: preparedness saves lives. With the ground shaking, is it time to panic? The USGS says no. The alert level is normal and there's no sign of imminent eruption. The deep quake swarm is a reason for vigilance, not fear. Volcanoes can be restless for months or years without erupting. But this is a wake-up call. Rainier is active, and the risk is real. Now is the time to review evacuation plans, know your hazard zone, and prepare emergency kits. Science provides early warning, but safety depends on community and individual action. Public education, drills, and readiness are vital. This period of unrest is a chance to strengthen preparedness. Respect the mountain's power, stay informed, and be ready, not afraid. Living near a great volcano means preparedness isn't optional, it's essential.